to morning stretch and unwind. Today you will need a scarf, long scarf, quite long, or a tie, strap or belt would also work. I'm thinking one block today if you have one. If you don't have one, not a big deal. And of course, a couple of toss cushions from your sofa will work. If you have a bolster, that would be great too. So today we're going to work on the heart meridian. So it comes from Taoist, which is actually yin yoga. In Chinese medicine, the meridians are energy channels in the body. And when we unlock these energy channels that are stored deep into our tissues and our fascia, then we can have these beautiful releases and feel more balanced in our qi, otherwise known as energy. So today, the heart meridian. So the heart meridian is an energy line that starts at the heart and then goes down the inside of the arm all the way to the pinky finger, and it goes to both sides. So the heart meridian is considered the king or queen of all of the organs, and so it's in charge of making sure everything runs smoothly. When our heart meridian is in balance, we feel social harmony, we feel peacefulness, pleasure, happiness, and we have set boundaries, healthy boundaries. On the flip side, we can feel nervousness, anxiousness, heartache, maybe even mania at times. So for this practice, I'd love for us to get out of our head and into our heart and enjoy a nice, quiet, slow practice this morning. So just sitting comfortably here, right where you are, whatever feels good. Place your hands on your knees if that feels comfortable. Let's roll our shoulders up towards our ears, set them back and down. And start to breathe a little bit more deeply than you were before. Take this time to ground into your space wherever you are seated. To start to make that connection to the heart. Listening to the whispers that it has to offer. The more quiet the mind is, the more we can listen to those whispers of the heart. I'd love to give you the option today to invite a mantra into your practice. Aham Prima, which means I am love. I allow love to fill me up and guide me in all my actions. Aham Prima, I am love. Recite either the Sanskrit or the English to yourself as you take those nice deep inhales and soft, slow exhales. I am love. Take another nice deep breath into this mantra. And exhale, let go of any tension. Flutter the eyes open. Reach the arms up toward the sky. Bring your palms together. Interlace the fingers. Then flip the palms up. Take a nice big stretch. Start to move from side to side. Just nice and slow in a way that feels natural. And then we'll let go of that left hand, bring it to the earth, take a side stretch here, keep the hips grounded, and that top shoulder rolling open. And we'll move to the other side, nice big stretch. Reach to the side. And release. Let's grab our strap or scarf, whatever we've got here. And we'll start to floss through the upper body. So it's going to be a lot of upper body work today. Take your arms wide, make your strap or scarf nice and taut, and then start to reach the scarf overhead. You just move a little, and if you're dealing with a shoulder injury, you're going to want to progress or not progress very, very carefully, of course. You can try to reach back a little further if it feels okay. You can also widen your grip to make more space so that the arms can go back a little more. And then keep drawing them forward, just like that. Maybe they go a little further. Maybe you want to pause somewhere where there's some tension. Take a deep breath and then back. Let's do one more. Now we'll hold the strap up overhead and then we'll tip over to the right. You might take that bottom hand to the earth and then keep that top hand lifted and reaching up. Notice the expansiveness through the heart, the wide arm span. Now start to round forward, still keeping that strap nice and tight. Start to curve to the other side. Now bringing the left hand to the earth, right arm is reaching up. Big, big, spacious stretch. One more each side. Curving forward, reaching. And other side. And release. We'll set that scarf off to the side for now, and we may use it later. Let's come to all fours, cat and cow. Stack your hands under your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. As you breathe in, arching the back, belly drops down, look forward. As you exhale, curl pelvis in, relax the head down, press the earth away. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale, curl forward. And move to your breath, move to your own rhythm. Let's do a few more rounds. And let's take neutral spine here. Let's flip the direction of our hands. So we'll do one at a time. Right fingertips now reaching back. Maybe shifting back to the heels a little bit. Let's try the other one. Left fingers pointing towards the body. Either staying where you are or shifting back a little toward the heels. And release. Let's take our knees wide, our toes together. Come into child's pose. And we'll reach the arms forward and relax the head down toward the earth. Let's take a few breaths here just to lengthen up the spine. Take another breath. Lift the head. If you have your block nearby, I might grab it. You don't need it though. We're gonna flip the left palm up and we'll slide that hand underneath the right, coming into twisted child's pose, landing the shoulder down onto the earth. I'm gonna take my hand onto that block. If you don't have a block, you can simply take your fingertips up onto the, up high so that there's a nice space in the palm. And that just creates a little bit more space for the shoulders, for the head. Now I'd like you to take deep breaths in through the upper back. Let the shoulder just feel heavy and ground into the earth. Take one more big, spacious breath. And then we'll lift the head, slide that left arm out, reaching forward into child's pose. One breath here. Moving to the other side, right palm flips up, arm slides underneath the other, turn to the side, rest your head. Coming up onto the fingertips or hand onto a block. Another nice deep inhale. And slowly let it go. Starting to rise. Reaching both arms forward, one breath into your child's pose. And we'll gradually rise back up to our tabletop. Our next pose is Anahatanasana, or melting heart pose. So for melting heart, for me, I like support. So if you have some cushions, I encourage you to grab one or two, especially if you're not very back bendy. Or if there is some blockage in through the heart meridian, this is a nice way to feel supported and not as extreme into the pose. So I'm going to stack these two pillows here, and it's just a place for my heart to land. I'm going to place my hands on the other side of my pillows, keeping my knees stacked under my hips, walking the hands forward, and then resting my chest down onto the pillows, reaching my arms forward. Relaxing the head, you could also take a block for the forehead, if that works. And the trick here is to allow the heart to really ground and release downward in toward the earth. That can be difficult. If the pillows aren't working for you, you can release the pillows. You don't have to use them. Do what works for you. You could even go down to one pillow. I'll try one pillow. And that's a little bit more of a back bend. And let's take 5 more breaths, allowing the heart to sink more toward the earth. And you can start to bring those hands underneath your shoulder, starting to rise up. Let's pause into tabletop here. Take a few cat and cow. Just release the spine. Some lubrication in between each of the vertebrae, some movement, some blood flow. You can also start to incorporate other movements if you'd like, some twists in through the hips, circular movements, shifting forward and back. Let's do that a few more breaths. And release. So here we will do a little hip stretch. And we'll still also keep working toward that balance or chi into the heart meridian. We're going to extend our legs forward as we come to our seat. You want to make sure you have your strap or scarf nearby. We're going to keep that left leg extended, and we're going to cross the right leg over top, and that right foot is going to land onto its sides. I'll turn to face this way so you can get a view this way. So our knees are sort of stacked. It's not key, but what is key is that both of your hips are grounded. So that's very, very important. If you'd like to sit onto the edge of a blanket, that could absolutely work. You want to be nice and tall, pelvis tilting forward. Next step is grabbing our strap and taking it into the opposite hand of the bent leg. So I have my right leg bent on top. I'm going to take the strap in my left hand. Bending the elbow so that you drop the scarf or strap behind, and then that bottom hand comes to the low back and grabs the other end of the strap, and the hands start to walk forward, coming into our Gomukhasana or cow face arms. So walking those hands, maybe at some point those hands can connect, but that's not something you want to force. Lots of self-compassion here, gentle. Just meet yourself wherever you are. But keep that heart lifted, the shoulders drawing back. And if this is a lot for you, make sure there's no pain. Breathe gently and slowly and make that your point of focus. Now you can continue to just sit nice and tall here, or you can hinge at the hip forward. Now you'll notice that stretch maybe increase through that extended leg, back up into the hip, maybe into the low back. Try not to crunch those shoulders up towards the ears. Keep that space, keep the length, keep the spine long. So we're going to take 3 more breaths. Now we're just going to release the arms, but we're going to keep the legs as they are and spend a little bit more time here. Just giving those arms a little break. Maybe taking the fingertips out to the side. You can still stay exactly as you are. You do have the option to bend that bottom leg, coming into full shoelace pose if that's in your practice. And again, making sure both hips are grounded into the earth. So know your limit, know your edge, so that that breath can still flow through freely as you rest in stillness. Now we'll start to get ready to exit out of the pose. So take one more deep breath. And then we'll release the legs. Just extend them out front. And now we're going to do the other side. Crossing the leg on top. The foot is on its side. Making sure that feels comfortable, that the hips are grounded. And then grabbing our strap or scarf. And this time, I'm going into my right hand. This is my left leg. So opposite hand to the bent leg. Reach it up high. Start to bend the elbow. Strap comes down to the low back, or sorry, to the upper back, and the other hand to the low back. Start to walk the hands toward one another. You might notice a significant difference from one side to the other. So honor and pause and breathe. Let's do a few breaths, sitting nice and tall first. And then if you'd like, you can hinge forward or stay sitting up tall. That's fine too. As long as you're not collapsing in through the neck, keep that spine long and lifted. And hinge forward. Feeling that stretch through the back of the extended leg, maybe into the low back. Take 3 more breaths. And then we'll rise the upper body, just releasing the arms, but keeping the legs as they are. And continuing to stay here in our half shoelace pose. You do have the option to come into full shoelace by bending that bottom leg. Keeping both of the hips grounded, feet coming out to the side, soles facing back. If this feels awkward or painful, just go back to the half version. Let's take 5 more breaths. And softly release, extend both legs out in front and just shake them out a little. Get that blood moving again. And then we're gonna come back onto all fours. Make your way there slowly, no rush at all. We're gonna rise up nice and tall. Let's tuck our toes under. And I want you to be really gentle with your low back here. Some of you might be dealing with injury or just a sensitive low back like what I have. It is what it is. It's a sensitive area of the body. So let's be gentle with it and let's support it as we start to move into some camel movements, Ustrasana. Take your hands to the sacrum, the thumbs are out, fingers pointing down, the elbows drawing back. Now we'll start to lift that heart. Breathe into the rib cage, looking up slightly. And this might be enough for you if there is pain in through the low back. So really, really gentle, just elongating, extending the spine, and that pelvis gently pressing forward. Now you can explore more mobility if it's feeling healthy. Starting to lean back a little, and then coming up. So just moving gently with ease, forward and back. Now, if that's no problem, then you can move into your full Ustrasana, taking the hands to the ankles. That's why we have those toes tucked under, just brings those ankles a little bit more closely. I like to flip my hands so that the thumbs are on the outside. And then you can either just keep the chin tucked, that feels better for you, or you can relax the head back. So just take another breath. I can't talk when my head is back, so take another breath. And we'll ease out of it very, very carefully. Keeping the toes tucked under, we'll just sit onto our heels gently and just take a moment of pause here. Take another breath. Now we're going to make our way onto our belly. If you prefer to do a few cat and cows here, if you feel there's some stiffness into the low back after the back bending, then go ahead and do a few cat and cows. Release that, make circles if that feels good. And then when you're ready, you can come down onto your belly. Have your block handy or a pillow so that you don't have to reach for it later. We'll start off in Sphinx with the elbows right under the shoulders, the heart lifted. We'll take 3 breaths here, allowing the sacrum to fully relax into your mat. Now lower your chest down toward the earth. This is really the ultimate heart meridian posture. Extending your left arm straight out from the hip socket. Right hand underneath your shoulder. Start to roll onto your left side. So you're rolling open, caution for shoulder pain. Bending the bottom leg for support. Right hand in front of the chest for support. And then I like to bend that top leg, land the foot. So a lot of containment through the low body is needed to keep that low back feeling safe and secure. So take a few breaths. Keep that right hand in front if you feel more stable. That is most important. If you'd like, you can try reaching that right arm up and open, and then bending and releasing to the low back. Just like a little wing tuck. I actually call this pose broken wing. Start to release that top arm and place it in front of the chest if you don't have it there already. And then you can very gently and safely start to roll back onto your belly. Now here we'll stack both hands, we'll rest our forehead, bend our knees, and windshield wiper our legs from side to side to release through the low back. Relax the legs back down again. Now right arm extends straight out from the shoulder socket. Left hand slides underneath the left shoulder. Gently rolling onto our side, bending the bottom leg, and then bending the top leg and landing the foot down. Left hand is in front of the chest for support. And you can also extend that top arm up and tuck it to the low back, only if that feels stable and secure. Now, some of you may also find your head is uncomfortable. You can slide a pillow or folded blanket under your head as well.
Take 5 more deep breaths. And keeping that left hand in front of the chest before you exit the pose. Having that support as you roll onto your belly. Stacking both hands, resting the forehead. And once again, we'll do those windshield wipers with the legs from side to side. Legs extend back. Let's lift back up into our Sphinx pose. Just a couple of breaths here, more as a transitional pose and also a way to reset and elongate that spine. Let's take another couple breaths. Then we'll flip the left palm, slide it underneath the right, land that shoulder down, bend the top knee for support, and then start to reach that right arm up and open to the side. Let's just let that arm float a little. You'll feel a very deep stretch, starting from the heart into pectorals and into the shoulder. And keep that left hand onto that top leg just for security, for grounding. Allowing that arm to float open. Maybe feeling that stretch down and through the bicep. And now, that top leg will start to lift. You'll roll back onto your back. That arm will land either onto the floor or onto a pillow. And then you'll take one of those pillows and slide it underneath that top leg. You can still keep that left hand to the thigh. One option here is to bend the bottom leg. Maybe either using your hand or your scarf, catch the top of that bottom foot. Still keeping that top leg bent. Shoulders are open, heart is open. Now grabbing that bottom foot is just an option. If you feel more restful with it released, go ahead and release it. Take one more big spacious breath. Slide that bottom cushion out of the way. And we'll start to roll back onto our belly. Be mindful of the low back here, so take it slow. And coming back into our Sphinx pose to reset and to lengthen. Now we'll flip the right palm up, slide it underneath the left. Land the shoulder, start to bend that top leg, roll open that top arm, reaching up, opening that heart more. Now the arm is floating. You're grounding that top leg with the right hand. This is a big, big stretch through the chest, the shoulder, and the arm. Take a couple more breaths here. Now that arm starts to land onto the floor, sliding a pillow underneath that top knee for support. And coming into your twist. Option to take that bottom foot with the left hand. You're wanting to incorporate a quad stretch into the pose. This is called cat pulling tail. But if you find it more restful to release that bottom foot, then please do. Take another deep breath. It's time to release. We're going to roll all the way onto our back. So you'll have to scoot yourself probably back onto your mat a little bit. Extend your legs straight out. Reach your arms straight up. Point your toes. Lengthen everything out. Walk the hands to the right, the legs to the right. Cross the left ankle on top of the right. Coming into our banana pose, or our moon shape. Taking breaths into that left side rib cage, where you want to find all of that stretch and space. Every exhale should have you just releasing and grounding more. Let's take 3 more breaths. We'll walk the hands to the center, stretching it out, and walk to the other side. And we'll cross the right leg on top this time, feeling the length through the right side body. And then release, walk the hands back to center, extending for 1 breath. And then we'll draw the knees into the chest. Take the knees wide and just rock a little from side to side. Massage the low back. So our options to close our practice today are your traditional Shavasana, especially if you found this to be a profound energy release in through this area. If you feel that you could open up some more heart energy, then we'll just come into a supported heart opening pose using our pillows or our bolster. I'm just going to use 1 pillow here so that my back can gently curve over and my head can rest onto the floor. I could also use another pillow for my head as well. So it really depends on how you're feeling. So I've got my back right up to the pillow, laying onto the pillow, making sure it feels comfortable and safe for my back, that my pillow is symmetrical. And then my arms are gonna come out wide. So remembering those energy lines of the heart meridian that come from the insides of the arms into the heart. Let the feet just fall open. Let that breath move freely and effortlessly. Please feel free to stay here a little bit longer today. Whatever you need. As we start to wake up, we'll bend our knees, plant our feet down. Roll over to our side. Maybe just pause here, reach the arms up, lengthen out. And then we'll rise up to a seated position. Take your time, no rush. Close down your eyes. Let's place our hands onto our heart. Take a deep breath into the space. And exhale, let it all go. Aham Prima. I am love. Today, let's allow this love to fill us up and guide us into everything we do off of our mat. May we leave today with a brave spirit, a fierce mind, a kind, happy, and loving heart. Namaste, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a wonderful day, guys.